Welcome. Today we're diving into the world of custom sliders in Jetpack Compose. Sliders are essential UI elements that allow users to select a value from a range, and while Jetpack Compose's Material 3 library provides a default slider, there's so much more you can do by customizing them. In this video, we'll explore how to create dynamic, visually engaging sliders that go beyond the basics. Whether you're building a simple app or a complex interface, understanding how to tailor sliders to your needs will help your app stand out. Let's get started by understanding what makes sliders so powerful in Compose. Might wonder why not just use the default slider. Customizing sliders lets you match your app's branding, improve usability, and create a unique user experience. Jetpack Compose's flexibility means you can change not just the colors, but also the shapes, animations, and even add custom graphics. This opens up creative possibilities, making your app more engaging and accessible. In the next scenes, we'll walk through the basics and then step into more advanced customizations so you can see just how much control you have. Let's begin with the basics. Jetpack Compose's Material 3 library provides a straightforward way to implement a slider. With just a few lines of code, you can have a functional slider that fits right into your app's theme. Here's a simple example. You define a value, set up an on-value change callback, and Compose takes care of the rest. This default slider is a great starting point, but as you'll see, it's just the foundation for more creative design. One of the first things you can customize is the slider's thumb, the draggable part users interact with. By default, it's a circle, but you can replace it with any shape or even a composable. For example, you might want a diamond-shaped thumb to make your slider stand out. This is done by passing a custom composable to the thumb parameter. With Compose, you have the freedom to use colors, shapes, and even add shadows or text inside the thumb, making it both functional and visually appealing. Beyond the thumb, the slider's track is another area ripe for customization. The track is the line the thumb slides along, and you can modify its color, thickness, and even its shape. In Compose, you can use composables to create unique visuals for both the active and inactive parts of the track. For instance, you might use a thick yellow line for the active section and a thin white line for the inactive part. This helps users see exactly how much of the slider is selected, improving clarity and style. Slider composable in Jetpack Compose accepts several arguments that let you control its behavior and appearance. The value and on-value change are essential for functionality, but you can also specify the thumb and track composables. This means you're not limited to the default look. You can render any UI element in these positions. Optional arguments like steps and value range allow for snapping and custom ranges, giving you even more flexibility in how your slider behaves. See how to replace the default thumb with a custom design. By providing a box composable with a specific size, padding, and background shape, you can create a thumb that matches your app style. For example, using a cut corner shape and a white background gives the thumb a distinctive diamond look. This approach is simple but powerful, letting you experiment with different shapes, colors, and even animations to make the slider more interactive and visually engaging. Customizing the track involves more than just changing its color. You can use composables to create complex visuals, such as gradients, patterns, or even animated effects. By calculating the active fraction of the slider, you can dynamically adjust the track's appearance as the user interacts with it. This means the track can visually respond to user input, making the slider feel more alive and responsive. It's a great way to add polish and personality to your app's UI. Make your slider truly dynamic, you need to calculate the active fraction, the portion of the track that's filled based on the current value. This calculation takes into account the slider's value, start and end range, ensuring accuracy even with custom ranges. By using derived state of, you can efficiently update the UI whenever the value changes. This technique is essential for creating sliders that work smoothly in all scenarios, from simple to complex. Greater reusability. You can encapsulate your custom slider logic in a line slider composable. This function accepts parameters like value, on value change, steps, value range, and a thumb display function for custom text. By organizing your code this way, you make it easier to reuse and maintain, and you can quickly adapt the slider for different use cases. The line slider composable is a flexible foundation for building advanced slider components. Create a smooth and engaging user experience. You can animate the slider's value using animate float as state. This animation makes the thumb glide smoothly to its new position when the value changes, rather than jumping abruptly. By specifying an animation spec such as a spring with a low damping ratio, you can fine-tune the animation's feel. This small detail adds a lot of polish to your slider, making it feel modern and responsive. Great way to enhance interactivity is to animate the thumb when the user drags it. By tracking the dragging state with a mutable interaction source, you can raise the thumb as it's being dragged and lower it when released. This is achieved by animating a float value for the vertical offset. The result is a thumb that visually responds to user input, making the slider feel more tactile and engaging. Positioning the thumb correctly is crucial, especially when you add custom animations or snapping. Instead of relying on the default positioning, you can calculate the thumb's position manually using the slider's width and the active fraction. This gives you precise control, ensuring the thumb moves smoothly and aligns perfectly with the track, even when the slider has steps or custom ranges. Thumb's appearance can be customized further with shadows, colors, and even embedded text. For example, you might use a yellow circular thumb with a shadow for depth and display the current value inside the thumb. This not only looks great but also provides immediate feedback to the user. By leveraging Compose's composable system, you can easily experiment with different designs and find what works best for your app. For a more advanced look, you can make the slider's track transform into a curve when the user drags the thumb. The highest point of the curve aligns with the thumb's position, creating a dynamic, animated effect. This is achieved by custom drawing the track using Compose's draw with cache and on draw behind functions. The result is a slider that feels alive and responds visually to user interaction. If your app supports right-to-left (RTL) languages, it's important to ensure your custom slider works correctly. By checking the layout direction and flipping the track drawing when needed, you can make sure the slider behaves as expected in all languages. This attention to detail improves accessibility and ensures a consistent experience for all users. To create the curved track, you define a path that moves from one end of the slider to the other with a smooth curve at the thumb's position. Using cubic to align to, you can shape the path precisely. This approach lets you create visually interesting sliders that go beyond straight lines, adding a sense of motion and depth to your UI. To ensure the path draws correctly, especially when trimming or clipping, you need to close it manually along itself. This involves drawing the same line in reverse with a slight variation on the y-axis. While it might seem complex, this technique ensures the track looks smooth and continuous, even when the thumb is at the edges. After defining the path, you can trim it to fit within the slider's bounds using path operation difference. This ensures that only the visible part of the track is drawn, preventing any visual glitches. By carefully managing the path's boundaries, you maintain a clean and professional look no matter how the slider is used. Graduations or tick marks can be added along the track to indicate snapping points or steps. By measuring the path's length and spacing graduations evenly, you provide clear visual cues for users. Circles can mark the ends, while lines indicate intermediate steps. This feature is especially useful for sliders with discrete values, making it easier for users to select precise value. Highlight the selected portion of the slider. You can draw the track twice, once for the active section and once for the inactive section. By clipping each part to the appropriate width and adjusting the color's opacity, you create a clear distinction between what's selected and what's not. This approach enhances usability and makes the slider's state immediately obvious. By encapsulating your slider logic into reusable components, you make it easy to add custom sliders throughout your app. The line slider composable is a great example, allowing you to pass in parameters for value, steps, range, and display. This modular approach saves time and ensures consistency, especially in larger projects. Small details like smooth animations, responsive thumbs, and clear graduations add up to a polished user experience. By paying attention to these aspects, you create sliders that not only look great but also feel intuitive and enjoyable to use. Remember, the best UI elements are those that users barely notice because they just work. Accessibility is crucial for any UI component. By using clear semantics and ensuring your slider works with screen readers, you make your app usable for everyone. Jetpack Compose provides tools to help with this, such as clear answer semantics, which prevents screen readers from highlighting non-interactive elements. Always test your custom sliders with accessibility tools to ensure a great experience for all users. Custom drawing and animations can impact performance if not handled carefully. Use Compose's efficient state management and avoid unnecessary recompositions. By leveraging derived state of and draw with cache, you can keep your sliders smooth and responsive, even with complex visuals. Always profile your app to catch any performance issues early. One of the joys of Jetpack Compose is how easy it is to experiment with different designs. Try changing the thumb's shape, adding gradients to the track, or animating the graduations. The composable system encourages creativity, so don't be afraid to play around and see what unique sliders you can create for your app. Custom sliders aren't just for show, they're practical tools for settings, media controls, and more. By integrating your custom sliders into real app scenarios, you can provide users with intuitive controls that match your app's style. Whether you're adjusting volume, brightness, or any other value, a well-designed slider makes the experience seamless. Let's look at some variations you can create. Sliders with different thumb shapes, tracks with gradients, or even sliders that display icons or images. Each variation can be tailored to fit a specific use case or branding requirement. The flexibility of Compose means you're only limited by your imagination. The Jetpack Compose community is active and always experimenting with new ideas. Check out open-source projects, Medium articles, and forums for inspiration and solutions to common challenges. Sharing your own custom slider designs can also help others and spark new ideas. When building custom sliders, you might encounter issues like misaligned thumbs or unexpected animations. Use Compose's preview tools and logging to debug your components. Break down the slider into smaller parts and test each one individually to quickly identify and fix problems. Thorough testing ensures your custom sliders work as expected across devices and scenarios. Test with different value ranges, step counts, and accessibility settings. Automated UI tests can help catch regressions, while manual testing ensures a smooth user experience. As your slider design becomes more complex, keep an eye on performance. Optimize drawing routines, minimize recompositions, and use Compose's tools to profile your UI. Efficient code ensures your sliders remain smooth, even with advanced visuals and animations. Custom sliders should match your app's overall theme. Use your app's color scheme, typography, and shapes to ensure consistency. Jetpack Compose makes it easy to access theme values, so your sliders always look like a natural part of your app. Consider edge cases like minimum and maximum values, disabled states, and error handling. Make sure your slider provides clear feedback in all situations, such as graying out when disabled or showing an error color when needed. These details make your sliders robust and user-friendly. Good documentation helps your team understand and use your custom sliders effectively. Include usage examples, parameter explanations, and tips for customization. Well-documented components are easier to maintain and extend as your app grows. Consider sharing your custom slider components with the community. Open-source contributions help others learn and improve, and you might receive valuable feedback or enhancements. Platforms like GitHub and Medium are great places to publish your work. Explore examples from other developers to see how they approach custom sliders. Analyzing different implementations can spark new ideas and help you avoid common pitfalls. The Compose ecosystem is full of creative solutions you can learn from. Jetpack Compose is evolving rapidly with new features and best practices emerging all the time. Stay updated by following official documentation, blogs, and community discussions. Keeping your skills current ensures your custom sliders use the latest and greatest Compose capabilities. Let's take a look at some advanced slider designs such as multi-thumb sliders, color pickers, or sliders with embedded icons. These examples demonstrate the full power of Compose's composable system, showing how you can build truly unique UI components for your app. For further learning, check out resources like official Jetpack Compose documentation, Medium articles, and open-source libraries. These resources provide in-depth guides, code samples, and community support to help you master custom sliders and other Compose components. Join developer groups and forums to connect with others working on Jetpack Compose. Sharing experiences, asking questions, and collaborating on projects can accelerate your learning and help you solve challenges faster. The Compose community is welcoming and full of helpful resources. Mastering custom UI components like sliders can set you apart as an Android developer. These skills are in high demand, especially as Compose becomes the standard for Android UI. Keep building, experimenting, and sharing your work to grow your expertise and advance your career. Let's recap what we've covered: customizing thumbs and tracks, adding animations, supporting RTL layouts, drawing graduations, and ensuring accessibility. With these techniques, you can create sliders that are both beautiful and functional, tailored to your app's needs. Now that you have the tools and knowledge to build custom sliders, try implementing them in your own projects. Experiment with different designs, test thoroughly, and share your creations with the community. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become in crafting unique UI components. Thanks for joining this deep dive into custom sliders with Jetpack Compose. With the flexibility and power of Compose, you can create UI components that truly stand out. Keep exploring, stay curious, and happy coding. For more tips and resources, check out the links in the description.